society needs sufficient human capital in the first place in the form of competent people who have themselves been educated and trained as a professors and other professionals. People are healthy, they can work more efficiently and more effectively. If the hygiene is there, there is no disease that will come near people. Job training is very important because the major economic problems what we are facing in India today is unemployment. Hello everybody, I'm your Divya ma'am, Assistant Professor from Department of Commerce and Management, lecturing Vidhyaashram Pre-University College, Mysuru, the Temple of Excellence. I take this opportunity to welcome you all for the session 1 on your Unit 4, the new chapter for today's class, that is Human Capital Formation in India. So in the last class, so up to 1991, from the independence period till 1991, what are the reforms, what are the changes that our economic leaders have brought into our India in order to make our country develop. So in today's class, we shall discuss about human capital formation in India. So in this chapter, you will be able to understand about what is human capital is all about, why human is considered as a investment in today's generation, and in this chapter you'll also be able to understand about how human beings, how human capital is contributing for our economic development. So what is the role of state and the central government in India so in developing the human? So you can see we have lot of schemes that is there, Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao. So when you open a TV channel, when you on a television, you'll get a ad of Narendra Modi ji saying that Ayushman Bharat. So why all the schemes the government develop, why they initiate? So in this chapter, you will get to know why it is important. The agenda for today's discussion are the introduction, what is human capital. I'll be explaining what is human capital, and I'll also be telling you all about the sources of human capital, migration, expenditure on information, human capital and economic development. So all these are the important topics that we are discussing in today's class. So without wasting much of our time, let's discuss the topics. Moving forward, before understanding what is human capital, we need to understand why it is important to study this chapter. So earlier, for the factors of production, we have land, labor, capital and organization. Land, labor, that is men, earlier it was treated as a factor of production, now it is treated as an asset. Labor means human beings, so human is treated as an asset. Why it is treated as an asset? Because they are the investment. So every year our president will give doctorate, Padma Vibhushana, all the highest honors to our country in India. So why they give that? So what are the reasons behind this? Because of the human development that we can see in our country. Because humans are there, without men, without people in our country, nothing can be taken forward. So for this purpose, it is important to understand the importance of human beings. So they are the one who brings innovation, they are the one who research and develop the new things. So in today's IT revolution world, today we have lot of technologies that is coming up into our India. It is because of our skilled people. So where do you get the skilled people? When you invest on the human beings, when you invest on human beings, when you educate them, when you provide a good health benefits for them, when you train them, you get a skilled employee, skilled human source. When you have a skilled human source, the efficiency and effectiveness of work is done in a better way. At the same time, you can get lot of innovative things coming into our India. So many of the chat GTP, if we want to take up, many of the technologies, many of the software that is there, ethical hacking is there, all these are the development, all these are the creations that have been done through human beings with the help of human human intelligence. So that is why human is considered as an asset, as an investment to the country. So human capital formation, the word itself says human is treated as an asset. To form that in India, what are the measures and steps they have taken up? So in what sector they have to improve in order to bring a skilled and intelligent people into our country. So we have IQ, we have EQ. So with the help of all these things, we are having a skilled professionals that is been there in our India who create. So during this COVID, it's the human beings that have been created a vaccine. They have invented new things. So all these are the development factors that we can see. That's why it is important for every Indian to be educated, to be healthier, and to be a knowledgeable person. So that is why this chapter is put to you people. Now let us understand. Country can turn physical resources into physical capital. Whatever resources we have, that resources is turned into investment. That is what we are doing, right? If we are taking the investment, we are getting the returns. The resources are utilized, and with the help of resources, we are producing the goods and services. Likewise, human resources also can be turned as human capital. Human beings are treated as resources now, asset. So they are treated as an investment. If we invest on them, they give return to us. What are the returns? Returns are nothing but the knowledge, intelligence, and the inventions that they create to our country's development. So as like physical resources is converted into physical capital, human resources are turned into human capital in the form of competent people. Ability, they have a ability. Competent means they are more skilled. Competent people who have themselves been educated and trained. We need to invest in human capital to produce more human capital out of human resource. So it is important to invest on human resources, human beings. Through how? Through proper education, by providing through good facilities, health benefits to them, providing a social security benefits to all the citizens in India. So in this way, we can have a skilled person. Human capital formation. To know more about this, we need to understand main things. What are those sources of human capital? So how we need to develop the human beings? That is called as sources of human capital. And also we need to understand about the human capital and the economic growth, how human capital will help in our economic development. Man all-round development, government role in human capital formation. So that's why, as I have when I started my class initially, I have told you Ayushman Bharat, they give you the card up to 5 lakhs, they can take up the health care benefits. It's like an insurance, or in all the government hospitals and the private hospital, the card is applicable, isn't it? That's what the Narendra Modi ji have introduced. So we have many other such schemes that has been initiated by the government of India to protect and safeguard our citizens. Moving forward, let us understand what is human capital is all about. Society needs sufficient human capital in the first place in the form of competent people who have themselves been educated and trained as a professors and other professionals. So when a person is having a skill, they are themselves trained and they are the ones who lead the country. They are called as human capital. In other words, we need good human capital to produce other capital. Let's say to have doctors, engineers, lawyers, we need other people to educate them. See, teacher is there. Teacher is the one who creates the other profession, who teaches the other profession, who leads, who encourages for the other profession. This is the same thing they are selling here. So human capital is required to produce the other human capital. So that is the doctors, engineers, And this means that we need to invest on human capital to produce more human capital out of human resources. We need to invest on what? More on human capital to produce more human capital. So to invest on more human beings, we get more humans, that is educated, well being trained, well professors, well having a well skilled professional will get into our India. That is what is human capital mean. Moving forward, what are the sources of human capital? How can we invest on our humans? So that is called as human capital. So investment in education, the first thing is what we need to do. We need to invest on education, because education is the key to success. So people who are educated, they have a thinking ability, their IQ level will be more, at the same time they will be skilled and they'll be knowing a decision making ability. They'll have a skill of taking a better decision than the uneducated person. They know what is good and what is bad to do in the country. Next, there are several other sources as well apart from the education. Those are investment in health. So health is a second important investment that the government of India has to be taken care of, because people are healthy, they can work more efficiently and more effectively. If the hygiene is there, there is no disease that will come near people. So hygiene should be there, proper social security benefits, and the health hospital facilities should be given. Investment on health is another important sources of human capital formation of India that the government has to consider. On the job training, so we need to train the employees. So when it comes to training and development, we have two types of training: on the job training and off the job training. So when we come in the next upcoming sessions, upcoming slides, I will be explaining what is on the job training and what is off the job training. So migration and information are the other sources of human capital formation. So how to develop, how to invest on human based on education. If you invest on healthcare, training, and on migration and collecting of information, then you can develop our human capital. Then you can develop our human, that is been a very important in our India. Moving forward, health is another important input for the development of human capital. It increases healthy labor force. When you have a healthy labor force, they work more efficiently and effectively for the betterment of our country. Expenditure health includes medicine. They should get a proper medicine, free medicine. So we have Jandan banks that is there. We have Jandan, lot of government schemes that are there to protect. So the Modi ji is giving what? Under his scheme, he is providing free medicines to people. So medicine is another important. Clean drinking water should be there. Good sanitation facility, that has to be very importantly given to the people. So that is health. So you have to invest on health for taking up a good labor force in the society. The other important sources, if we wanted to learn about, is job training. Job training is very important because the major economic problems what we are facing in India today is unemployment. People are educated, they know to read and write, but still they remain unemployment. So when it comes to unemployment, we have different unemployment: seasonal unemployment, disguised unemployment. So there are a lot of other things that is there. People are skilled, but for their skill there is no job. But whatever the job is available, people are not ready to do. The skill is not sufficient for them. So all the different problems are there. In order to face that problems, the country has to provide. So in our Mysuru, we have Root Set. So Root Set will provide what? A free training, job training facility to our people. So people can stay there in Root Set and they can get the job training. So they encourage the MSMEs, micro and medium, small enterprises. They also take care of people all around the world who doesn't have any of the facilities to live. They also provide the different trainings for in all the fields. So job training, the government said. So one of the examples I have given you all. Firms spend on giving on the job training to their workers. This may take different forms. One, the worker may be trained in the firm itself, other under the supervision of skilled labor. The other is worker may be sent to off-campus training. As I have told you, when it comes to job training, we have on the job training and off the job training. On the job training means the worker will kept in the place itself and under the supervision of a skilled labor, so he'll be trained. So that is on the job training. Off the job training, the employee is kept outside the real working situation. He'll be trained under the dummy mode, other different modes, and then he'll be placed to the real field. So that is off the job training. Moving forward, in both these cases, firm incurs some expenses. Firm will thus insist that the worker should work for a specific period of time after they are on the job training, during which it can recover the benefits of the enhanced productivity owing to the training. So another thing if we wanted to talk about is, so every firm, recently companies will get tie up with you, so they'll have a bond with you. So 2 years bond, 3 years bond, you have to stick with the company itself. Why do they have the bond? For this itself, because they are investing lot on you people to train you people regarding the skills you want to perform for that particular job. So what happens? It will be difficult for the companies if the trained employees leave the institution. That's why they'll help you to stick on to the particular job through that bond. Next, expenditure regarding on-the-job training is a source of human capital formation, as a return of such expenditure in the form of enhanced labor productivity is more than the cost of it. So to train an employee, it is not easy. It requires huge expenditure, huge cost. At the same time, the benefits they reap is very much. They have a higher productivity than a unskilled worker or labor working than a skilled labor. So it is very important to invest on the training. So that is what they are saying. Moving forward, the other important sources of human capital formation in India is migration. Migration means what? Movement of people from one place to another place. So in seek of job, in seek of education, for higher salary, since they'll be facing unemployment problem, they move from one place to another in order to get a better options, better standard of living and better modernization. People migrate. People migrate in search of jobs that fetch them higher salary than they may get in their native places. Unemployment is the reason for the rural and urban migration in India. The major rural and urban migration that we can see in our India is because of unemployment problem. Technically qualified persons like engineers, doctors migrate to other countries because of higher salary that they may get in such countries. You can see this better in if you take up an example of doctors, engineers and the other good professions, they go for abroad countries. Why? Because of the benefits they get from the country. So this is the reason that the migration can be seen in our India. Migration in both these cases involve cost of transportation, higher cost of living in the migrated places and psychic cost of living in the strange socio-culture setup. So it requires huge cost, huge investment to migrate. So it is a loss for the country if skilled people leave the country. So it is important to make sure that all the adequate facilities are provided in our India itself, so that our workers, our professionals live in our country itself for the prosperity of our betterment of our country. The enhanced earning in the new places, other way, The cost of migration, hence expenditure on migration, is also the sources of human capital formation. What we are expending on the migration for the transportation purpose, it is also one of the sources of human capital formation in our India. Moving forward, expenditure on information. Why do country invest on collecting the information, collecting the data specific to the salaries, data specific, they'll collect with respect to the employment opportunity, regarding the people, regarding the education. So why is this they are doing? It's because of to have a proper information. When they have a proper information, they can have a better schemes to bring up by the state and the central government to look after our India. People spend to acquire information relating to labor market. Labor market. What is labor market? Employment opportunity. To create employment opportunity, that is labor market, and the other markets like education and health. For example, people wanted to know the level of salaries associated with various types of jobs. You cannot pay 50,000 for a daily wager, isn't it? He works for a daily wage, we have to pay accordingly. So what is the weight that we have to pay for the different jobs? To have that information, we need to have expenditure on the information. Whether educational institute provide the right type of employment skill and at what cost. Whether the educational institution today, they are providing the skills, what is required for they are teaching what is required for the industries, what is required for the companies. This information is necessary to make decisions regarding investment in human capital. As I have told you, why all this information is needed? They take up a better decision regarding investment in human capital. So because we have to utilize them in a better way. Expenditure incurred for acquiring information related to labor market and other markets is also the source of human capital formation. Moving forward, human capital and economic developments, how it will develop our economy. Who contributes more to the national income? Who contributes more to the national income? It is a worker, it is a skilled professional who contributes more to the economy. So a worker in a factory or a software professional, obviously a software professional. We know that the labor skill of an educated person is more than that of an uneducated person. So we already know the skill who has educated person has. That farmer generates the income to the country. So they are the one who creates income to the country. Economic growth means the increase in the national income. What is economic development? Increase in the national income, increase in your GDP. So who contributes more? Higher professional will contribute more. Naturally, the contribution of educated person to the economic growth is more than the illiterate person. This is already known to us. Moving forward, if a healthy person could provide an uninterrupted labor supply for a longer period of time, then health is also another important economic factor of growth. So, healthy person can survive more in the job. Healthy person can work more, then he contributes more to the economy. Thus, both education and health, along with many other factors like on-the-job training, job market information, migration, increase in individual income, they generate the income to our country. This enhanced productivity of human beings or human capital contributes substantially not only towards increasing labor productivity but also stimulates innovation, creates ability to absorb new technology. So if people are educated, it doesn't only help in productivity, it will absorb new technology, new innovation, new strategies they bring into our market. So education provides knowledge to understand change in the society, what changes we have to bring in the society, what changes, how we can adopt, because we are living in the globalization era. So that globalization, if we have to survive, we have different culture altogether, we have different people we have to deal with, the languages will be different. So when you are educated, then only you can survive in the globalization era. Scientific advancement thus facilitates invention and innovation. Similarly, the availability of educated labor force facility adoption to new technology. So as a new technology we are adopting, technology comes, but to use the technology, if people are not healthier, at the same time they doesn't have a skill to operate those technologies, then it will be waste to our country. So it is important, it is equal important to contribute the on education which provides the knowledge to understand the change in the society, to have a scientific advancement, to adopt to the advancement, and to adopt to the innovation and invention, and to bring invention from themselves to deal with the new technologies. So that's it, my dear students. Hope the session was very interesting and fruitful. Smile is the biggest jewel you can wear, people. Keep smiling. Thank you.